This is a video about wave motion and types of waves. First, waves. Waves are a way of getting energy from one location to another without having to move an object, without having to move matter from the first location to the second. We're going to have two major types of waves. Here's one. Let's say I have a string like this, and I'm going to tie a small ribbon to the string. Maybe I start off by giving this thing a pulse. When I do that, of course my ribbon moves with the string. And this pulse is going to move down the line. A little while later, I will see that same pulse down here, and my ribbon will stay where it is. So right here, in that pulse area, whether I have a way of expressing it or not, I know that I have some kind of energy. That energy starts out in this location, but then a while later the energy is over here. There's nothing going on over here on the left side anymore. What I have is energy being propagated to the right, so I have a direction of propagation to the right. This ribbon, it moves up and down. So I have a displacement that's vertical. When I have a displacement that's perpendicular to propagation, this is called a transverse wave, also a traveling wave. It might seem like that's the only kind of wave we're going to reasonably come up with, but we've got another. Not with a string, but with a slinky. I'm going to tie a ribbon on it. And now, I want to give this slinky a push this way. Instead of a pulse up and down, I'm going to give it a push this way. So what this will look like might be something like this. Might be something like this. I have my ribbon, and it has moved to the right. So my displacement is to the right. Now, if I let this thing go on for a little while, later on, it will look like this. I have this packet right here of compression, and it's moving down the line. So I have displacement to the right, but I also have propagation to the right. When that's the case, when my displacement is parallel to my propagation, we call this a longitudinal wave. The longitudinal wave is admittedly kind of hard to see with pictures, so I want to give you an animation of this real quick. Here's an animation that shows kind of what's going on. I've got this slinky that I've got stretched out, and over on the left side I'm just going to give it a push. You can see the packet of compression as it moves down to the right. The displacement is also to the right, but I think it's a little bit easier to see with an animation than with just a picture or a series of pictures. So we get two waves, transverse waves and longitudinal waves. We will look at the properties of these waves a little bit later, very soon, but for right now, that's a good place to stop.